This video is made for adult collectors because Hatchet dies like 20 seconds after he shows up. Ruby! Ruby? There she is. Hello. Hello. What do you think of Hatchet? Ruby, it's a dog. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? I don't think she cares. Ruby, look, it's a dog. I'll put the dog here. Does that work? Who's your good girl? Who's your good girl? Who's your good girl? Good girl. The Dreads. Their toy history is funky. Crankcase was the only one to get a main deluxe toy in the Dark of the Moon toy line. The whole set was released in the then Cyberverse and Cyberverse Commander scale, though Hatchet was a jet for some reason. And then in Studio Series, they came out of the gate in Wave 1 with Crowbar. And then in Wave 5, I think, they dropped Crankcase, who is like all wrong. Don't know why they didn't use the Berserker tooling for that toy, but whatever. Still no Hatchet. Then Hatchet renders leaked a few years back. We weren't supposed to see those, and then we were all up in arms when we thought the thing was canceled just because we hadn't seen it yet. But here he is. And was it worth the wait? Not really. Also, me trying to hunt for one, god damn, Walmart, Toys R Us, and Amazon and GameStop for not putting this thing out on its street date. But now I have one. Yay. This is Hatchet from Transformers Dark of the Moon, and he looks like a dog. Case in point, here's my dog. This is a partial of the Berserker mold, sharing wheels and some engineering according to the wiki. I don't have any of the old Dread molds anymore to compare them, sorry, but the outer shell parts feel like a lot of the same as the old figures too, but again, I could be wrong. But that original Dreads mold had some fit and finish issues, some rough edges, let's say, and they didn't really go away with Hatchet. Hatchet also isn't super accurate for those who care, and I kinda do. He looks cool, don't get me wrong, but the head shape and the body feel a bit too slim for the on-screen model. And as a video game nerd, part of me wishes this was a lot bigger to match how much more massive they were than Dino in the Dark of the Moon game. But hey, maybe we'll get a Gamer Edition one in like another 7 years. The sculpting, I will say, is very nice. It's very intricate, and not gonna lie, it's really cool getting a proper Bayverse Deluxe after what feels like an eternity. While I wasn't starving for them, it is really cool to see them pop up again. He is very kibbly. Again, given the Deluxe and the partial budgets and blah blah blah, he doesn't really have room to tuck all this stuff away. Not to mention all the Suburban panels feel very thin, because they've always been thin on the previous Dreads incarnations. Not the biggest fan of that. I am glad he has a tail. I was a little concerned they were just going to use the back bumper as a tail, but no, they actually put a piece in there, which is really cool. I did say the head was thin, but it still looks cool. His dreads are tucked away back there and do get lost at some angles, but it's still a solid head sculpt. His only accessory is his tail, and no, he doesn't have an Ejectocito head like in the film, but having this really makes me wish Studio Series Dino came with some whips. That would have been awesome. These arm bits, they just love popping off. They aren't glued in place, which is funny because while these are new, they pop off just like Berserker. Don't know why they aren't glued. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna glue them. I will note the plastic of the overall robot feels a bit nicer from what I remember Berserker feeling like. It feels a tad more robust over the original figure, then all the car panels feel really thin. The design in the film was also super intimidating, reminded me a lot of the ghost dog things from Ghostbusters, but this toy just kind of lacks that intimidation factor and trades it for a bit of awkwardness. Again, I think a Voyager budget really would have given them a bit more room to play with a lot of the proportional and kibble issues that this Deluxe has. So I know I just did that whole glue segment, but I'm filming this before I actually glue them, so you can see how these fall off both in articulation and transformation. If they do fall off, we'll see. But its articulation is okay. So the head, it can rotate, but it can't like look left and right. You just got a bit of a spin. The dreads can move, but I find they move a little too easily, so a lot of times I'll like mess with it and then they're both down here. I kind of wish they locked into place on this side. The jaw can open and close. You do have shoulders that are on ball joints, but the ball oh, there goes one of the arm bits. The ball joints are at very specific angles, so the legs move a bit strange. It's not horrible, they don't hinder anything, it's just weird. But they are on ball joints, so you've got that. They can go out. You have a bicep rotation. You have over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and then the hands or the front paws or whatever can move. Now he does have 5mm ports in his hands, so he can still hold stuff. If you want him to run with a gun, I guess you can do that. There is nothing at the waist, just due to how all this works. The hips, they can go forward, they can go back, they can go in and out. There is no thigh rotation, there is a ball jointed knee. So that's where you get your sort of rotation, and it, you know, it moves forward and back. And then this section can move forward and back. Now, this one moves pretty fine. This one moves and clicks into place. And that's because there is a massive, I don't know how well you can see it there, but there's like a massive sprue mark. I trimmed most of it. I just need to get a knife in there and get the rest of it out. But yeah, mine has a little bit of that weirdness to it where the sprue was left behind. So he's a bit awkward to move into pose. You can't really get him looking interesting other than standing there. Like if I try to get him into like a running pose, oh, there goes his tail. It doesn't look the greatest because there's no tilt at any of the ankles, and just the range on those limbs is very much just, this was a standing up robot and we've now put it on all fours. Like that's what it feels like. It's not fantastic. I wish it was a little bit better. So yeah, as a robot, he's nifty, but not without his fair share of issues. Again, I think a higher price point would have helped this be a bit more solid and accurate, but we got what we got. Now let's make him a souped up police version of a Chevrolet, what's it called? Almost said Equinox, Suburban. So to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to fold these panels out on the doors here, and then flip the hands up. This figure does make filming it a bit difficult because it's all dark colors. It's kind of weird, but we're going to straighten the arms out and rotate them so that they face this way. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when you close them up, they don't like sitting perfectly closed because of how wide the head is. His tail fell off because of how wide the head is. So I constantly have to like rotate the head just a little bit. Oh, there that panel goes. And then they sit flush. It's a bit strange. But once we do that, we are then going to take the dreads, open them up, and take the weapon. And the weapon's going to fit right in between the dreads and lock into place. And that is your weapon storage, which is pretty cool. Then we're going to take this back section here, open this up, unfold this out like you would any of the other dreads figures, shift this back, and this is going to come over here and peg into the back section, which is going to be difficult because, oh, see, there it goes. There it goes. Ah, get in. Aha, we did it. It only fell off once. Well, the weapon fell out. It's on the floor. Now, the back legs here, you straighten them out basically, and you rotate them 90 degrees at the knee, and then you bring them up. Now, you got these little tabs right here that are going to go into some really secure slots here. I love how secure this connection is. You little dumbass. So we'll get that lined up and pegged into place. Get this side lined up. Ugh. And pegged into place. And then once you have that done, we're going to straighten out this front section here and then flip these forward. These are then going to snap into the side of the legs and into the hood of the vehicle. Once you get all that lined up, you can take this section, fold it up to the front, and there you have the Chevy Suburban in Chevy Suburban mode. With, oh, the back's coming undone again with the dingle dangle hanging out. But yeah, it's not pleasant. It would be a lot more nice if, it would be a lot nicer if this back section here didn't fall apart all the time. Like if these were glued, don't know why they're not glued. They should be glued, but they're not. And so it falls off constantly and it makes this annoying. So I can't wait to shoot that glue sequence because then I can just stick them on and leave them there. I'm not a fan of the Suburban in real life because I find it's just really big for no reason, but this nails it. There's no clear plastic on this, which I'm super glad about, because given how thin the outer shells of the car panels are, that clear would be so fragile. But this is pretty clean. There's a bit of undercarriage, especially at the back with the weapon, but I kind of see that as like a tow hitch. The one thing I don't really like is this massive unsightly gap in the alt mode. I usually don't care about gaps on toys, but this is like so visually in your face in the car, and alt mode gaps don't really happen very often. That is just a little egregious for me. It is a solid alt mode though. Nothing wants to come apart, and he has pinned wheels and excellent ground clearance. So so rolling is fantastic. That's how you do words. But is it $25 US worth it? I don't think so. It just has too many little oddities and then bits popping off, which is annoying. Same with the fit and finish of the back of the truck when you're transforming it. Sale for sure, but full price, I think it needed another pass for that. It's cool and I like having it, but I know why so many people don't really vibe with it much. I fully get it. And yeah, I have the same issues. If you want to complete the Dreads collection though, then this is a must get. I will be displaying this with Dino because I have video games, and I'm probably going to get a Berserker and a crowbar at TFCon LA. I will be going to TFCon LA. If those bits didn't fall off, I think I'd recommend it a lot more. Granted, you just glue them, but you shouldn't have to just glue them out of the box. But that's my look at Studio Series Hatchet. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.